Continues.
And we continue with this, back with State Representative Stephen Jackson and Louis Avallone, host of American Ground Radio, also the former chairman of the Caddo Parish Republican Party. We want to ask each about their reactions to President Trump's State of the Union address tonight. Let's start with Rep. Jackson. And what do you think was the overall flavor of the speech and maybe the strongest point the president brought out?
Yeah, I think the overall flavor is clearly there's still a high level of tension, a high level of a spirit of rancor, and really need to return to civility in our nation's capital on both sides of it. I don't care which side you sit on. It's hard to sit back and watch a speech that's supposed to be about policy, substance, regardless of whether, you know, what party you're in. Just the lack of civility, hearing members shouting out and hearing the president call members crazy and to their face. It's just too much. I think one of the strong points of the speech was when the majority of the chamber stood and recognized some of our American heroes, whether they were fallen officers, whether they were combat veterans or Team USA. And you know, the president has tried to point to some of his economic advantages and some of his economic wins, but he went and took the low road when he called out the Supreme Court right in front of them, knowing that they can't react to it. So I just wish that we would just get back to a point of civility.
Same question to you, Louis. Overall speech and maybe a couple of strongest points.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, what I heard was a lot of optimism about the American dream, but also heard a record of accomplishment. I mean, Lord have mercy. The SAVE Act, increasing housing affordability, no tax on tips, the cost of eggs and milk are dropping, the stock market is booming. And so what I heard was the American dream is back. And the only incivility that I heard were Democrats shouting at the president, and he just kept going. He kept giving his speech and recognizing the greatness of the American people.
I do understand your point, though, Stephen, because I was standing in the newsroom when the president made his comment about the Supreme Court, and I thought, just don't do that. Just deliver some positivity for the country.
Yeah, a wise attorney once told me, I don't know that I would upset the 9 individuals who hold the fate of a lot of decisions, big decisions in their hand. And so I don't know how smart that is, but I'm sure the Supreme Court could look past that. Look, I know that the president has touted a lot of economic gains, but those economic gains are simply not making it down to the American people, as shown by a lot of these special elections that are swinging toward Democrats, and a lot of independents are bringing toward Democrats. The president has to start actually showing what are those kitchen table issues he's talking about. He often referred to his predecessor, but he forgets that a lot of the inflation and a lot of the rising costs started during his term. President Biden picked those things up. He pointed to infrastructure investments, but he failed to mention that these are investments that were made under President Biden's infrastructure bill. And so just a lot of things that I wish we would just kind of go back, get back to the table, get everybody to sit down. The SAVE Act is stuck in Congress right now, and he can't get some of his own members of his own party to get behind full throttle behind the SAVE Act.
And Louis, do you expect that a lot of these economic reforms will be hitting second and third quarter of this year?
Oh, well, absolutely. They already are. Household incomes are up. Unemployment is down. We mentioned no tax on tips. That's huge for as far as kitchen table economics and folks trying to make ends meet. No taxes on auto loans as long as those cars are made in America, right, of course. So President Trump is certainly mindful and certainly very careful to make sure that the American people come first. And that's what I heard tonight, was an America first agenda. And he's delivering.
Okay, we got our last minute here, but the president mentioned pretty early on in tonight's speech, Stephen, about the border and bringing that under control. Your thoughts?
No, I think a lot of these issues, the American people will have an opportunity to speak on, whether it's the border, whether it's no tax on tips, whether it's their economic, how they feel about the economic. They're going to have the opportunity to speak on this come November. And what it looks like is that the American people don't have the confidence in this president as well as the confidence in this particular Congress. And, there's a movement afoot that people don't feel that. The president talked about zero border crossing, but you continue to see some of the issues. You overshadow that with some of the issues that have taken place in Minnesota and other cities where ICE and DHS have resulted to some very severe tactics on American citizens, and so the good will get overshadowed by unfortunate instances like that.
There are some things working at odds, right, Louis?
Correct.
I mean, I don't. I think you have an adult in the room, in the White House, that is enforcing the laws of this nation. We are a nation of laws, not of men. It shouldn't surprise folks. And yes, if you've had a record number of years of administrations that have just kicked the can down the road and not enforced our laws, sure, it's going to get a little messy. But I think President Trump is bringing it all back in. And I think what's shameful is the Democrats that did not attend tonight's State of the Union. Those Democrats represent constituents who happen to be Republicans as well, and I think they did their constituents a great disservice by not attending.
That does not include Louisiana's Democratic representatives who were there.
Kudos to both of them.
All right, Louis Avallone, Stephen Jackson, thank you both very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Excellent comment.